competing in, we are repeating in, we are believing in. It's time for us to shift our mind from best in the world to best for the world. Make decisions intentional, to take decisions intentional, making decisions intentional. Make decisions intentional, to take decisions intentional, making decisions intentional. It creates a new world to mind a shift, intentionality, perceptuality, conceptuality. We are choosing to shift our mind to best for the world, best for our world. Make decisions intentional, to take decisions intentional, making decisions intentional. Make decisions intentional, to take decisions intentional, making decisions intentional.
So, Richard, please help us out and welcome the crowd.
Hello, thank you and welcome to this live stream in our first and ever tried Digilog world. This is a very early concept on how to transform our way of meeting each other, both from the analog side, the physical world, as well as in the digital means. So together with us, we have a couple of participants, and I will start introducing myself a little bit. My name is Rickard Lundgren. My avatar's name is Zahnheiser, and I was the founder of the To Change concept, including reducing food waste in an organization called Food to Change. And as a long-term commitment to solving sustainability questions and the challenges we have, this is a big part on how to continue working on those things crossing borders or even not regarding borders, so that we can have a good conversation irrespective on which channel we are actually meeting each other through. So I would like to see if there's anyone else here that would like to introduce himself a little bit for the crowd. Please go ahead.
Hi, everybody. My avatar's name is Mitzi Chico, but my real name is Pera Karlsson. And I think it's going to be really cool to be here today. It's my first time I'm in this world with this new avatar. I usually work at something called UF, which is where we help young entrepreneurs in a young age to make the world better. And this I also am a part of To Change, and I love to make the world better and to develop things. So it's going to be super exciting to be here today.
Thank you.
I'm leaving the word to someone else.
Let's see, maybe Ixpal. Paul, would you like to introduce yourself briefly?
Hello, my name is Paul Wennerberg, and my name here is Ixpal, and they're working together with Rickard and Petra, and I have been responsible to develop this platform.
Great. So if somebody else wants to join the dialogue, please just follow our link roblox.tochange.sc and set up your account. You will find also the instructions, the guide, if you look on our Facebook sites and LinkedIn and so on. So please let us know if you want to follow that. Otherwise, it's the stream that you'll find on YouTube. So
yeah, I can introduce myself also. Is that okay?
Yes.
Yeah. So my avatar name is Stella Nordahl, and that's also my physical name in the physical world. So I'm working with facilitating the shift from best in the world to best for the world, and that means business development, personal development, and societal development. And the idea I'm working with is not separating them from each other. So it's like development and transformation in various forms, and I've been doing so for the last 15 years, and I'm working with ideas of a worldview where we are whole as human beings, and where the environment and we are one. So that's what I'm doing. intentional decisions is one way of doing it. So a little bit short.
Great.
I'm very interested in this Digilog. I think this is wonderful way of engaging.
So the main idea actually with this kind of setup is that we wanted to utilize the strengths and the really strong power that the gaming community has in onboarding people in relatively complex systems. Like when you start a computer game today, there are a lot of things you need to learn, but it's also how you learn it and how you make that journey through the game and learn all those different aspects in a way that you actually find it fun and engaging, and that you want to continue to do that. So that's a major component in our idea about let's say put away the borders between the analog and the physical, because that has traditionally been a very difficult point to overcome. Not to say the least about Teams meetings or any other service where you have a screen in front of you, a lot of faces, and you have your camera in front of you, and it turns into some kind of screen fatigue, so to speak. So that's a major component that we wanted to utilize in this, to actually be able to onboard people quite easily. So it's understandable on how to use the tools. But also, as you can see, if you look around in this world, we will be able to stream in live streams from, for instance, conference room or an event show, or maybe just a small meeting room somewhere, so that people sitting physically in a meeting room can engage with us choosing to join with a Digilog character. So if I ask the question about for you here, how do you think we could develop this further in order to go from passivity or to be passive in the meeting and maybe screen tired into engaging and to experience this natural type of meeting? Anyone has any ideas about that or want to share on this concept?
Yeah, well, I can start. As I'm streaming now my view from Roblox to YouTube via Zoom, I'm interested in on how various formats for interacting in between the digital twin and the physical twin. So I don't know exactly how to put it, but one way is, of course, as we now have this spatial sound, that is one way we can do it. But are there more ways?
Absolutely. What we're looking at here is that you join this discussion or this conversation through one way. So you choose if you want to do it from your physical room or if you want to do it via the digital version of yourself, the avatar. So in this case, you're streaming, but that's because what we're seeing here now and what we're looking at is a very early concept. Like, we want to show a vision about this. So usually we make a small walk around, we explain things and how it's supposed to be working and so on. So it's what you see here now, you who sits in the sofa and attends this meeting, as well as the people looking at this from the live stream, are a very early concept model of what we want to achieve. And if we look up to the left here from you, Stellan, there's a big screen from a food conference, and that will symbolize the live stream. That will not only be a picture, that will actually be the live stream from this event. And if you look really closely, all the people in that event also see us in the screen they have behind themselves on the big stage there. So they see actually the big the stage we have here in this Digilog world as well. So if you have one perspective, you can go in as part of the audience in that conference room, and you will be able to see us here in this Digilog world. And we, who are not in the physical room, but we're sitting here instead, can see them and talk to them. So we can have a full duplex, double communication coming back and forth, irrespective if you choose to be attending physically or digitally. And that's what we call Digilog solutions in that sense.
Okay, so I'm thinking of the people there right now at this conference. When interacting with us, do we need to have, all of us have to have a digital twin, or is it just the ones that are here right now, the 5-6 of us, or I don't know exactly how many we are here in this Digilog world?
Yeah, we're actually 7 now. Welcome, Bockholmen. Please feel very welcome. To answer your question there, Stellan, it's actually quite easy because it's like you normally do. If you're in a conference room and you want to ask a question to the board of people, the panel that you can see in front of the stage on this picture on the wall. If you look at them and you want to ask a question, usually somebody transfer you some kind of microphone so that everybody will be able to hear. And that microphone will also send the sound into us here to this Digilog world. So there's no difference really. The only difference is that we include people into the conversation directly when you want to join digitally, which means that if you have problems or challenges traveling to one of these convents or events that are happening somewhere around the globe, you don't need to do that physically with this kind of solution. You can actually travel there with your avatar and be part of the discussion from the beginning. And of course, the most optimal way here would be to create a copy of this event hall also in this Digilog world, which means that if you're sitting in that audience that is just behind your avatar, I will walk here and towards this screen here so you can follow it, just here by the camera. If you are one of those persons sitting in the audience here, you can bring up your cell phone and you can log in to this Digilog world and be able to share business cards. You will be able to meet people also that are attending in this Digilog world. So it's actually just enhancing your experience of the event, and you will be able to meet and to reach more people and have better conversations when you combine those two in real time.
Super. So I'm thinking here now we have more people in the room. How do we interact?
We have several different ways, and keep in mind that this is still just a vision world that we have been building, so it's not fully functional with everything we want to do, and it's based on the Roblox game platform, just to make the concept visible in another sense. So how you can engage are like we're doing now with voice, for instance, so we can hear and speak to each other. There's no need that you must have your webcam on, but for sure there will be possibilities for us to maybe interact in a new way where your webcam or your camera on your phone looks at your face, and where you can see if you're, let's say that you're smiling, that somebody says something funny and you start laughing, the camera sees that, and that will actually change your face on the avatar without you having to be on camera, so to speak. So you don't have to care about having to fix your hair in the best way. It will just disregard that. So that could be those subtle interactions that we want to make as an integral part of this solution, which means that the communication we'll have through the Digilog version will be much more natural than if you're sitting in front of Teams and have the screen and a very flat two-dimensional picture in front of you. So you have the voice, you will have, for instance, facial expressions. You will be able to move your avatar like this. You can reach up your hand in order if you want to say something, or clap your hands or things like that. And also, of course, you will be able to write things like I'm doing now. I will just do a small text message. Everybody can see this. And it comes up over my head. So also somebody that aren't able to hear or able to perceive the voice part of this can write, and you can also read with things. So you're not technically limited to have certain equipment or so on. Of course, there will be a need to have a minimum technical level, like having a cell phone, for instance, a smartphone, or a computer in order to access this world. But that's also the thing here. If you attend a meeting like we have here on the wall behind us, sorry, I walk away here to this wall here.
And when you walk away, just so you know, I'm losing you a little bit, so I have to follow you. Otherwise, I can't. The ones that are following the stream can't hear it. So I'm following you.
Yeah. Okay. So if you look at this wall again, if you don't like to use technical equipment, or you're not prone and you want to meet physically, you can do that. You just go to the events that are in the physical room. So the ones that we see on the wall here, they are there physically. They don't need to have a cell phone, but they will inherently still be able to interact with us because you see us on the wall and you will be able to speak with us. So that's the idea, to actually take away the limitations of being either digital or physical. We call it analog in that sense. So if you combine those, digital and analog, you get Digilog.
Cool. So I'm thinking of right now, as we are some people here in the room, there's what kind of applications do the rest of you see where we can use this kind of setups? And I understand that it's an early version or a test bed or prototyping. I understand that, but already now I can see things or events or applications where this is interesting. What the rest of you? What do you see right now? What kind of applications can we use this for?
I'm just thinking when I'm here now in the meeting that I'm getting so much more engaged with everything. I'm getting so much more activated. It's not. I have to be. It's catching my attention in another way. There's happening things, and I can see everybody in the meeting in another way than on Zoom or something. Like when we're talking now, I can really see all the people. So I think that's really cool.
One thing we are thinking about, I mean, it's so early in this development, so we can't say for sure how this will look like in 6 months or 1 year or so, but there are many ideas. We can go everything from being very cubic, like let's say games like Minecraft, until up all the way on the scale to a very realistic type of setup where we look like humans usually do, with as close proximity as possible to the real thing. However, that will also be part of the design of this world in order to make it maybe a little bit more playful, while still retaining this sense of that it's happening for real. That is an actual meeting that we're having, and with all these good things that comes from that when we get together in a room, and to be able to express ideas and share ideas and build on it and so on. I mean, it's just fantastic that we're in this small setup, in this very, very early concept, are able to join here now. We're 7 people in here being part of this discussion right now in different areas. And I know that there are people coming from both Sweden and Spain and other countries being here right now. So it's very, very interesting to have this possibility. But what we could do is to spend a couple of minutes, if you like, to follow me around this little place that we're built here, so we can show you some actual use cases. Now we've been talking about it a lot, but how about that we make a small tour and have a look at it? Yes. Are you up for it, Stellan?
Yeah,
You're our cameraman.
I'm up and
follow us.
Up and running here. I'm in the lane. So
Great.
So please
So-
don't go too fast from me, because then people will get seasick here.
Exactly. We'll take it easy. We are now moving from the part where we have like this discussion set up with some sofas and maybe like a podcast or something like that, or a vlog that you can use Digilogly. But we can also continue on this theme with having a stage and having somebody who's talking about the important subject, like a TEDx talk or something like that. So if we move here,
Whoops, where did you go?
towards the big stage.
Okay.
We'll see if you're here with us, Stella.
I'm sorry.
You can have like a speaker up here where I'm standing right now. You face the crowd. So if you people would like to, you can jump up on this stage, let's say the public space, the stairs, like you are now, Stella. And you can see me. I will talk, and it's just like if you're being in a physical room, listening to somebody having some kind of message they want to portray or speak about. And you can also, if you want, be just an audience. So we can stand here on this seating, or sit here and look at a live stream from an event somewhere that is on the big screen over there. So, and they will be able to see us, as you can see on the screen, where you have a lot of people now. That is us actually. So this is our view of it, and the people in the big event will see us on their screen, just behind the backs on their big stage there, and be able to hear us also if we want to say something or if we want to ask questions and so on.
Super cool.
So let's move on here. And I understand we have to discuss a little bit about different points of view here, if you're the speaker or if you're the audience or things like that. But
Okay, before we move, it goes a little bit fast. Bockholmen has a question about the spatial voice, if someone can help out. I believe it's just named chat, isn't it? Just named chat. It's like a green button or somewhere, if I remember it.
Yeah.
A couple of days ago, I had the same issue.
Yeah, if you're on the computer, you can put a /. If you have a Swedish keyboard, you put a shift and then the number 7, and it will start the chat where you can start writing. There's also a small button up in the top left corner if you are on a PC, where there is like a text bubble. If you click on that, you will be able to write. And then we will see above your head when you're writing like that. If you're on the cell phone, there's also a small chat bubble that you can click on in order to start writing something.
Yeah, and that will also enable the spatial sound, or?
No, the spatial sound you have to do in settings. If you're on a PC, you go out of the game and you put it in settings when you log in on Roblox. If you're on the cell phone, you also have to disconnect from the server here and go into settings in the app. And then under security, I believe, there is a choice where you can enable spatial voice, and then you will be able to talk and listen here.
Okay. So someone is helping Bockholmen with this, I guess. Okay, let's move on then.
Great, yeah. So with every good place where we're going to meet each other, there needs to be some kind of privacy space. And in this case, we have some toilets. And if you're on an event and you want to pause the event, you want to go and grab yourself a coffee or something, or you get a phone call, and you don't want somebody to interact with your avatar, but you don't want to log out either, then you can go into the toilet and sit there, and nobody will disturb you for a while. So Stellan is now trying this thing on how to do that in a good way. Yeah, like that. Great. We also have you can be interactive with with stuff here. For instance, this car, you can jump into it and be able to drive it around. So if I go into the driver's seat, I will be able to drive the car. which means that if you have some things that you want to, let's say you're a manufacturer of something, a car manufacturer, or a new means of transportation, or whatever it is, you can actually build a copy of it here also in the Digilog world for people to try out and to test. So it could be used for product demonstrations as well. Let's move on. If you go into this rings here with a small speaker in the middle, that will be a test and demonstration box for sound. So the closer you get to this speaker, the more sound you will hear from it. And that is just to show that now it's probably very, very loud for you, Stellan. Yeah. So if you come here again, it's easier to hear. That means that we can have a discussion here with many people, like 30 people, or 7 as we are now, and we will not disturb the people sitting back over at the sofas. They will have their own discussions, but we're still in the same world, and that's actually exactly the same as if we would meet in a normal physical setup in that sense. And of course, if you want, you can also interact with the things that are here. So if I move those balls now with all the sustainable development goals, they will actually fall over, and we can play with them, and we can kick them to each other and move them around and so on. So this means that we can create mini games in this to keep things a little bit fun and to be interactive in different aspects. Great. Any questions or any thoughts about this so far before we move on?
Your mystery comes with life on land and responsible consumption. Thank you very much.
Exactly. So if we want to discuss that mystery with Stellan, you can push them to him, and we have a great icebreaker to start talking about those subjects. Cool. Let's move on here. If we just move a little bit further down the road here. We'll see if our faithful cameraman Stellan Nordahl comes with us.
Yeah.
What we're seeing here is a very early version of showing how you can actually get separate meeting rooms. So let's say that we're on this big, huge conference, and I want to talk with you, Stellan, and with you, Mitsuchiko. But we want to do it in a more private setting where we know that there won't be other people coming around. Maybe we have some cool idea that we want to discuss among ourselves. Then we could actually go to a separate meeting room like this. This is a teleporter. So I will jump into that, and I will all of a sudden spawn up on this big thing in the air that we see ahead of us. So I will do that first, and then you can come after me.
How do I do it? Is like, do I jump on it? Or...
You just walk on it.
Walk on, okay, I walk on. And just, whoops, he disappeared. Wow.
Hello.
Wow.
Hello.
Here. No, whoops.
Walk again.
Hello.
Hello, Stellan.
Hey, here we are.
Hey.
Amazing.
So that means that we are spawned into a separate meeting room, and in the future we will be able to close that teleporter and have a doorbell down at the teleporter where we came from, so that if somebody else wants to join, they can ring the doorbell and we can allow them in. Otherwise, they won't be able to come here. Then we have some special room for us where we can discuss things in private.
Okay, so right now, if there anyone standing outside this room, they can't hear us.
No, we're too far away right now.
I'm just trying it out. So I'm walking to the red carpet, and I come back here in a couple of seconds. So now I'm back in. Oops, sorry. Okay, so now I'm back in the ordinary world, and
down there.
Okay, now I'm here again.
Comes up here. Yeah. Did you hear us?
No. It was totally quiet as I went out. Just me.
I was talking all the time here. So let's say here we could also put up walls and maybe have a big whiteboard where we can actually create together in this Digilog world. And when we're finished with this whiteboard and paintings and things we want to do, we can send that to our emails or as a PowerPoint or something like that in the future.
I have a question here. What happens if I go over the border? Do I fall down, or what happens? Or is it even?
Then you will end up in the lovely grass beneath this one.
Oh, okay.
So it's totally harmless. You will not hurt yourself if you do that. So that's actually a part you can do. We can try to get some adrenaline flowing. So follow me jumping over the edge here, and we'll go back to the platform over there.
Okay.
Okay.
Wow. Wow. Whoops.
And then we jump up here.
And as you hear now, I'm a little bit when the distance goes becomes longer. I can't hear you that much.
Yeah, exactly. So let's move into another use case. We have 2 use cases left, and this is the second last one. We go into this very blue room, which symbolizes like a normal conference room in an office or at a company somewhere. You can jump in here. You will be able to sit in the chairs and so on, and you will be able to see on the screen the people sitting in the same in the physical conference room that is the replica or the copy of this one. And that means that you will be able to talk to everybody in that conference room as well as here. So it's full double communication, with the exception that it's not only a 2-dimensional picture of a lot of faces in a Teams show. You will actually be able to interact with each other. And this is where it becomes really cool, because if we put up a whiteboard in this room, let's say on the wall here, and we have a connected whiteboard in the physical room, that means that we can start writing and start drawing on the whiteboard on the wall here. And that will be directly translated to the whiteboard in the physical room as well. So that means that we can collaborate irrespective of where we connect to this meeting. So we'll be able to hear, be able to talk, be able to interact, and to work together. Any questions regarding that, or any thoughts?
Yeah, but that has to be some kind of spatial whiteboard, right? Some kind of
Exactly. As I said, it needs to be a connected whiteboard. Yes.
But those whiteboards already exist, so that's nothing we have to invent, right? It's something that is already on the market, right?
It's already on the market. They are quite expensive today, but as we see it, those kind of tools will get better and better, and also a lot cheaper in the future. So while this is being developed, all these things will go in the right direction to be able to combine those technologies together.
Maybe it could be a digital one. I mean, it doesn't have to be physical. It could be like a Miro or a mural or something like that.
Exactly. So it's not only exactly, and then we can walk out in the sunshine again, so we get rid of this blue light here. That's a very important part of this. It's not a game. It's not only a game where everybody goes in and plays multiplayer. That's not the idea with this. The idea is that we are actually interacting both with the digital channels as well as the analog or the physical realm, which means that there are a lot more connections. There are a lot more APIs and connections with surrounding technologies, such as the examples you mentioned, Mural or Miro or collaboration tools like that. So we're not here to invent all the collaboration tools. We want to include also service providers in being part of building this world and the support of this world together.
And as I understood it, when we were at the stage earlier, you can stream in both directions. So we can have a stream from a physical room into this Digilog, but we can also have a digital stream going out from the camera inside this world and to a digital platform like YouTube or Facebook or whatever.
Exactly, or a Teams meeting or an Outlook calendar invite or anything like that. Yes, for sure.
Great.
So when you're doing this and doing a lot of hard work, you also need to do some recuperation, have some breaks, and therefore we have a showcase here of some kind of bar or like a restaurant type of venue where you can sit and discuss things. You can have a coffee and so on. But let's say that you go to this place, and then there's all of a sudden there's a person there with a typical pink shirt. I mean, there are a lot of providers now, so I'm not preferring anyone over anyone else. But just to make it a concrete example, like Foodora could be here taking orders in this setup. You can have a screen, or you can actually have a person with their own avatar taking your orders, and then you will get a delivery of food and fika, like a coffee or buns or anything like that, to your physical place, even though you're sitting here. So you can do that in this setup as well. There's nothing limiting that, to be honest. You can order your groceries. Maybe IKEA wants to be part of this, or Coop wants to sit here, and you can order your groceries and to be picked up after you leave from work and so on, physically. So all these collaborations we see combine in this type of setup, where you have a Digilog world with both broadcasting from this world to the physical counterpart, as well as from the physical world into this Digilog world. And that's what truly makes it Digilog.
I know Bockholmen is back. Did everything come to a solution, Bockholmen?
Yes, I like to send the screen dumps to our Click friends, but then I was kicked out.
Welcome, Bockholmen.
Welcome.
We can hear you.
Yeah.
We had a small introduction just when we started this venture like 40 minutes ago. So would you like to say some words about who you are, and if you're representing something, or background a little bit?
Yeah. I don't know if I'm representing something. I'm from Sweden, and I'm interested in different kind of sustainability processes and initiatives, working with climate change and revetting. And when I'm not in the office, I'm working with different kind of learning initiatives, both in Sweden and in other countries.
Yeah.
Something like that.
Given that, and the fact that I know you're very interested in creating good environments for pike to survive in our waters here in Sweden, especially in Mälaren and Hjälmaren, do you see any ways that we could use this kind of world to actually show people, interested parties, stakeholders, and so on, what you want to achieve? Would that be a use case that you see plausible, or do you see any other uses for this kind of setup?
I think this is quite interesting, and as you know, we have developed something similar in VR chat, where we have meetings and so on now and then. We have restarted those, but I think this is a great way. I think the normal online meetings are quite boring. Nothing happened for 20 years there. But
Yeah.
I don't know how the function works here. It said that you can buy an avatar, because it really helps if the avatars looks a little bit like ourselves also.
Exactly. So if you have new viewers as well, and you see this world that we're part of right now, and where we're discussing those subjects, it's important to know that this is a very, very early concept design that we're doing based on a game called Roblox. So it's not supposed really to be used as this Digilog world in the end. It's just a way for us to be easier. It's easier for us to show the vision in this kind of setup. But of course, we want to develop this based on our own platform, so that we know that the data is secure, that the users are confident that their data will be handled properly, and they are owning their own data and so on. So that's the integrity part is very important for us when it comes to this, especially if we want to have companies using this where they discuss sensitive subjects, or let's say you have a political discussion in Almedalen and things like that. I mean, it's really important that it's transparent of where specific data is stored, what is saved and what is not saved, and so on. So there will be different use cases and different scenarios for this. So in this case, you will find that there are you can interact with this world in a way, but that's also a part of showing the vision of what we want to achieve here. Really.
Yeah, and in this specific event we have right now, we're broadcasting the views as my avatar have to be able to spread the idea that the Digilog world is a way forward for engaging more people into dialogues and conversations, and also in creating a better future together. So right now we're streaming to YouTube via a Zoom platform, and we are part of a broadcast called Best for the World broadcast, which is a 48-hour event with a lot of different concepts. So that's the context right now, so everyone knows that. And you can look into, you can go into bestforthe.world and find this concept also described afterwards, where we put down the findings from this specific event here. Yeah, bestforthe.world. That's nice, Sennheiser. Super.
Yeah, so you have a round-the-clock broadcast now. It started yesterday and will continue the entire weekend here.
So directly after this one, in like 5 minutes, we're rearranging the studio into an outdoor studio where there will be an event about biodiversity. And so, yeah, a lot of different concepts, and of course you can join in from anywhere in the world. Yesterday we had a lot of interesting people from all over the world.
So I would just like to take 1 second here to be to acknowledge the moment, to acknowledge the present moment. If you look at how we're standing right now, we're standing in a ring facing each other and talking to each other, and nobody has told anybody else to do that. So we have done that in a natural way in order to face each other, to interact with each other, even though there are no facial expressions moving and so on. But this is what we want to convey with this Digilog solution, that it turns this meeting into a more natural way of meeting, because we would probably have done this quite similarly in a physical sense if we would have been meeting in the same room, in the same physical room. You see what I mean? And this is part of the natural tendencies of how we interact and communicate with each other.
Here comes Non-Cave. I really love this. I said, here comes Non-Cave. I really love this.
Yeah. Hello, Non-Cave.
I really love that you acknowledge this moment also. Wow.
Yeah.
So
it's just proving my point that we want to create a world where it's more easy to use the technology. It might even help people that doesn't want or is not interested in technology wanting to use that with this kind of tool, because it feels more natural. It doesn't feel that alien for them to start using.
No, that's right.
That's the idea that we want to do in order to facilitate the discussions, the conversation, and to include more people into our conversation about how to improve the world and become best for the world in that paradigm shift.
Super. And with those words, I think we can wrap up the broadcast, and of course we can continue the Digilog dialogue. I love that word. So I'm right now. I will end our session here with the same intro as an outro. So if anyone wants to say something concluding, or are we?
I just want to invite everybody to have if we want to have a dance, we can go to the dance floor just behind us after this session.
Let's go there and end by dancing. And
yes, let's go and have a dance.
Let's join for the dance.
The music over there should be here.
We should move the music, sure.
Yeah. We need some music over here.
Yeah. Are you ready to move the music later on so that we can have some music while dancing?
Yes,
Party,
so let's put it up there.
We are creating the world we're now living in. We are competing in. We are repeating in. We are believing in. It's time for us to shift our mind from best in the world to best for the world. Make decisions intentional, to take decisions intentional, making decisions intentional. Make decisions intentional, to take decisions intentional, making decisions intentional. It creates a new world to mind a shift, intentionality, perceptuality, conceptuality. We are choosing to shift our mind to best for the world, best for our world. Make decisions intentional, to take decisions intentional, making decisions intentional. Make decisions intentional, to take decisions intentional, making decisions intentional.